Hope everyone is having a lovely Tuesday evening or night if you're somewhere where it's night already. So yeah, just waiting for a little couple more people to come in, but we'll give them another 2 minutes. So if any of you guys are new to the Q&A, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a Q&A. So any questions that you have, be answering them for you this evening. And we do usually cover a topic, but that topic usually sprouts out to different, more topics, I should say, even more topics. So, you know, don't feel like you have to stick to our topic tonight, which is going to emphasize brain health. Any questions you have about anything, feel free to ask them. We will answer them for you. And I usually let everyone know. I put it in the chat, but I know some people um, don't quite know how to get the chat working right away. So in the chat, you can leave your questions there, and we can answer them. And then if we have time towards the end of the Q&A, you can even ask me a question verbally, or I can hear your voice if you prefer that. Some people want to kind of remain anonymous. And so I understand that too. I totally understand that. And just to let you know too, at the beginning, what we did last week, what we started doing last week is if you have, I was going to say if you have questions, but I was going to say if you want to see the recording of this Q&A for a later date, or you want to share it with somebody, we will allow for that. Give us, a day, two at the very most, just to get it all uploaded onto YouTube. It is a private link, so you will, when you have the link, that's when you can access it. If you don't have a link, you won't be able to access it on YouTube. So just wanted to start it off that way to let you guys know that. And what I'm going to do in the chat is I'm going to input our email address, which is where you can request for the link. It got a little messy last week where everyone was loading in their emails in the chat, and I think I missed a couple people. So to make it easy and to make sure I do not miss you, we will have you email the info@commonsenseherbs.com and just say I would like a link to the last herbal Q&A, and we can do that for you. And it actually looks like somebody has a question already. I love this. Miss Gwen says, how does one know if the parasite cleanse is working for you? Do you have to take the Superlax with the parasite cleanse? Also, what products are good for digestive? Um, okay, let's see here. Sorry, I just had to meet that person that came in. So everyone's a little different when it comes to the parasite cleanse. Some people will clearly see parasites coming out in their stool, and other people don't, because sometimes I think it depends on a lot of different factors, but one of them being how many parasites are in your system. It's nice if you don't have to see them come out, right? I know some people do like to see them. I would prefer not to. And there's all different sizes of parasites too. But the main thing is, if you're using it, the herbs and the parasite cleanse are there to cleanse parasites and to help kill the parasites. So it is important that you take the Superlax with it. It's super important that you take Superlax with it. Because a lot of parasites live in that area, which makes sense that a lot will live in the gut and the intestines, because that's where we digest our food, and that's where the majority of our parasites come from, the food that we eat, especially if you're a meat eater. Not just a meat eater, if you're a person that loves sugar, anything that's lifeless, anything processed, is definitely going to have parasites. And also, she asked what products are good for digestive concerns. And for those of you who might also want to know what the parasite product is she's talking about, it's called Super Paracleanse. I know some people get confused and think that the Super Paracleanse is similar to the Superlax. They're two different things. Superlax is for the colon health. Super Paracleanse is for parasites. Um, And it also can help with elimination too, because some of the herbs in the parasite cleanse, excuse me, some of the herbs in the parasite cleanse help with cleansing the colon as well. Okay, and okay, yes, what products are good for digestive concerns? And you're asking me to send the link or add me to the link. Oh, okay. Um, what we're trying to do though with wanting, if you're wanting the link for the Q&A, so that email that's in the chat right now, info@commonsenseherbs.com, shoot us an email there with your email, just to make everything cleaner and easier and make sure I'm not missing anybody or misspelling, because I can easily just copy and paste your email from the email you send and make sure it's correct. And then, okay, back to the digestive concerns question you had. Definitely the Superlax, because if you're not eliminating fully properly, and some people think they are eliminating properly, but most people aren't, especially if you're living in America. Um, and even with the help of the Superlax, which is amazing, we're still constantly eating. We're still constantly eating things that aren't good. So we we have to make sure that colon is getting cleansed, and the Superlax is number one. And then you can do other things to add to that, like you can do colonics or enemas. And of course, fasting is great too. It just gets to another level of detoxing. Sophia said Herbalax. Yes, Herbalax, of course, too. Herbalax is milder than Superlax, though. So there are a few people that really do love the Herbalax, but Superlax is good just because you also do get some probiotic in there, you get some fiber in there. So if you're someone who also might not be eating as many vegetables as you should throughout the day, or ingesting vegetables or fruits which have that natural fiber, um, that Superlax, um, there is some in the Herbalax, but the Superlax, just because honestly, again, going back to the fact that we live in America, we just need a little extra help. So Superlax, working with your pancreas and even working with your liver is really helpful, because the pancreas is a big part of our digestive tract as well. And the liver has a big part to do with our digestion as well. So we have the herbs called pancreas, right? I really love that product. It helps me digest my food better, and it also helps if you are eating any kind of sugar, processed sugar. It really helps to break that down better. It just keeps that pancreas strong. It get our digestive tract gets get hit really hard with the food that we eat, and the liver build. I've been again taking more of that. You can't go wrong with taking herbs to help strengthen and cleanse your liver, because again, the toxins, and not just the food we eat, anything that we consume, anything that we're consuming is usually has some kind of toxin, chemical, preservative, additive, sugar, of course. So cleaning the liver is important. There's also activated charcoal is another great product. That's something you don't have to take every day, but it's something that does help with bloat. It helps with absorbing toxins in the bloodstream and absorbing toxins in the gut. Um, I've used it in many different forms. Sometimes when I'm in a different country or just somewhere different where I'm eating different food, I'll take some of it before I eat, and it just helps to absorb oils or whatever it is, anything that it sees as a toxin in the body, and helps. Again, I think I mentioned it helps with bloat. Um, and you know how sometimes you get those pockets of gas. Sometimes in the middle of the night, you wake up. I know a lot of people experience that. Charcoal is very helpful for that. Um, and so many other things charcoal is great for. I'll kind of get more detailed about that later. We have a sale going on. You can buy one, get one free on the charcoal at the moment. Okay, let's see here. Can you speak? Oh, I don't want to miss anybody's question. Okay. Can you speak to taking PMS and getting mood swings? Yes, I definitely can, because it helps me with that big time. Yeah, the PMS is miraculous, honestly. It is going in and balancing our hormones, nourishing our female system, all the organs of the female system. Um, it's going in and helping to cleanse because we don't realize that our for women, our extra channel of elimination is the vaginal tract. So when you work with herbs that are cleaning and nourishing those organs, the female organs, it's going to automatically help with getting the mood swings right. It's going to help with any kind of cramping, um, bloating too. Um, and for women that aren't in their menstruating years, it'll still help with mood swing because women still experience that because if our hormones aren't balanced, no matter what age we are, it's going to affect us. So the PMS is like a staple for me. It's so amazing. It's so amazing. And we want to keep that system detoxed at all times. Um, it's so detrimental for our health, which kind of ties into we're gonna get into brain health, but of course I want to answer you guys' questions first, since it's a Q&A and that's the point of this. But our hormones affect our mental and our brain health tremendously. So not just for women, either for men too. So men need to work on their hormones as well. Says so one should take Superlax every day. Someone can. You can definitely take Superlax every day. I myself, I do. So many people that I know take it every day. Uh, Again, it comes down to what is your diet like because you'll notice when you begin to eat better, eat more whole foods, less processed, less cooked foods. You want a lot of raw fruits and vegetables in your diet, preferably organic. The cleanest way it's grown is the best. I know even organic it has things that aren't perfect about it. Again, if you're not growing it yourself, you don't know. But ingesting all those things is what will really get you going and keeping your colon clean. So if you're someone who knows you're not eating well on a day-to-day basis, or maybe just a little bit here and there, Superlax is going to be helpful for you every day. It is. And if you feel like you want to take a day off, take one day off of the week. That's totally fine too. Totally fine. Someone says I was referred by CSH by a church. I was referred to CSH, Common Sense Herbs, by a church sister and would like to know what would be best to cleanse if I want to do a detox. I eat very healthy, but feel like my elimination process can be better. Also, what products are best to detox heavy metals? I like this question. So detox, and first and foremost, our Superlax colon cleanser. That is numero uno, number one. Um, it's gonna help get the walls cleaned, and that's where a lot of diseases can start, and that's where a lot of our, the tiredness, our energy levels change, our even mood swings, the bloat, the constant just like not feeling like you're fully even digesting your food or feeling groggy. A lot of that starts right there in the colon. A lot of our problems stem there. Um, so the Superlax is number one. You can also do what's called our daily maintenance. It's called daily preventative and maintenance. And it has over 20 herbs in that combination. So you're getting a lot of vitamins, a lot of minerals, and you're getting a really good cellular and tissue building, but also cleansing at the same time. Um, yeah, daily maintenance is an incredible product. There's so much you get out of there, so much. Um, and then for women, again, you probably were hearing us talk about the female. No matter what age you are, working with the PMS, our female combination, that's another way of detoxing and keeping the body clean. So the PMS is so important as well. But if you're really wanting to emphasize colon health, I would say for sure Superlax and the maintenance. Um, we have so many different products that help with detoxing. I was talking about the liver one earlier, the liver build. So that's also very good. And what products are best to detox heavy metals, you asked as well. Actually, what I was touching on about the activated charcoal, the activated charcoal is very good for that. There's quite a few people that come in that, they know they're exposed to that on a daily basis with the job they have. And there's also a woman who, um, she's exposed to like exhaust a lot in her job. So she finds that the charcoal really, really, really helps her. It's been very beneficial to just absorb a lot of those toxins that are in those environments. So activated charcoal, it's incredible. Which one helps with cellulitis? Um, Superlux, definitely. PMS, um, FF2, which is our other female formula, FF2. You get totally different herbs in the FF2 versus the PMS, but they work incredibly well together. And also the lymphatic health, our product called lymphatic health. Lymphatic, so we did cover this quite a bit in one of our Q&As about the lymph nodes and why they're so important. But we have lymph nodes from head to toe in our body, and we tend to have lymph nodes in certain places more than others, like places where we bend, here, under neck for women in the female area. So with that being said, having a lot of lymph nodes in the female system in those areas, um, working with a female combination is going to help tremendously. And the lymphatic health is helping to flush and move those lymph nodes, get a lot of mucus out, starting from the reproductive system area down into the thigh area. Because a lot of the times we're not very active people, and the lymph nodes need activity. So that's another thing to be very aware of, is being active doesn't mean you have to go to boot camp or you have to go lifting or doing cardio for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. It's just like walking, 20, 30 minutes. So moving your lymph nodes is crucial, and cleansing your lymph nodes is crucial for cellulite and working with your female hormones. And being consistent with those things, being very consistent with them. You can like even massage the areas that have cellulite too. I know on YouTube they even show you like specifically how to massage for the lymph nodes, and that's incredible. I've actually been doing that a little bit here and there myself. Because we need to stimulate the lymphatics. So I think so far that's all the questions I see in the chat. So again, if you have more questions, keep them coming. Until then, I'm gonna get a sip of my coconut water. And I'm going to start talking a bit about brain health today for all of you that are anxiously awaiting this part. So I know we know a lot about the brain, a lot of us do, and then there's a lot of us that don't. And we know that the brain is a very complex structure. It's like the computer for our whole body. It's the central nervous system. It's the central place where everything has to be working right and functioning right in order for us to fully feel well. And for, we were talking about hormones. It touches all that person. Sorry about that. Yes, guys. I know it's hard to remember, but try to remember to mute when you come in the meeting, because we can hear everything. But anyways, okay, so the brain, like I said, holds a central nervous system. It works. It controls our physical, our hormonal, our anatomical, so our skeletal and everything in between, our physiological factors of our body. We know it also has to do with working with our memory, our thoughts, our personality traits, our emotions, our hearing, our seeing, our even down to our instincts and behavior. So the brain is so important. I feel like there's been more awareness about it in the past years, but I think nutrition is a big part that is overlooked. It's slowly but surely becoming more known that what we're putting in our system directly affects our brain, but I feel like it can always be taken more seriously. So we know, of course, things like sugar, processed food, um, alcohol consumption, smoking, all those things directly affect our brain, they affect our nervous system. So we have to really be aware of what we're consuming, and not just what we're consuming in our mouths, but our stress levels. Our stress levels, our environment, if you're in a high stress environment, traumatic and, going through trauma, all those things affect the brain. Um, and it's also good to know that, you know, herbs that work for the brain and herbs that work for the nervous system, they can work interchangeably. So if someone is wanting herbs in the brain, we'll suggest herbs for that. For instance, we have a product called Head Start, but we may also, depending on the situation with what you're discussing with us, we may also suggest our nerve control combination, because you can't work on one without working on the other, essentially. So the herbs that again work for help the brain are going to help the nerves. The herbs that work for the nervous system are going to help the brain. And I'll get a little bit more into that as well. Um, it it's awesome when we do these Q&As, because I'm answering you guys' questions, but I'm also for myself relearning a lot and refreshing my brain a lot on the different parts of our body. And so this one was great. Learning more about the brain is incredible. It's incredible all that it does. Um, so we'll start with the nervous system, since I touched on that already. So we have what's known as the vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve is the main pathway through which signals are transmitted between the gut and the brain. We've been learning more about the gut-brain connection. The vagus nerve carries information about the gut state, including the presence of harmful pathogens or inflammation to the brain. And we also have what are called neurotransmitters. So the neurotransmitters, that is where the gut microbiota can produce, it can produce neurotransmitters, such as serotonin, dopamine, and they're essential for regulating our mood, our behavior, and our cognitive function. And balances in the neurotransmitters have been linked to mental health disorders. So, we see a lot more mental health problems for young people, and it's very sad. I mean, it's very sad, because it's not just teenagers and young adults, it's kids, like kids, even sometimes toddlers, dealing with issues with the brain. And you can see so clearly now why that is, because of their diet, especially if they're going to public school. And if the parents just don't know, or you're just doing the best you can, but you realize, because of the diet and the lack of nutrients and just all these empty calories, all these chemicals, preservatives, additives in their food, it's directly hitting their nervous system, which is directly affecting their brain. So, I know it sounds redundant, but we have to work on the colon, and we have to work on what we're putting back in to nourish our body, our gut, our bloodstream, all of those things, because at the end of the day, that's the foundation for everything. Um, so, whether right now we're talking about brain health, but even if we weren't talking about brain health and we're talking about female health or kidney health, gotta start with the colon, number one. Um, so another thing here that I found very interesting, is that our, excuse me, our hormone imbalance, which I did mention this briefly, our hormone imbalance affects the brain. Reason being is because the brain relies significantly on proper hormone balance in order to function properly. There was this article that I pulled up and it says, in fact, concentrations of estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, as well as DHEA and other hormones, can be higher in the brain than in the bloodstream. So that's a little fun fact there. Imbalances of hormones affects the brain's chemistry and communication between brain cells, physical, mental, and emotional, including issues with growth development, metabolism, sleep, sexual development, thyroid, and brain health. Those are all, pardon me, those are all the hormones affect brain. And again, vice versa, because they're communicating with each other. So if one thing's off, the brain's off, the hormones off, the brain's off. They work as one. Really, when you begin to wrap your brain around, no pun intended, when you begin to wrap your brain around the fact that our body works as a whole, when you begin to learn and research and even just experience different things going on with your body, you'll see how that can be, like how the body works as a whole. You can't just focus on one part of the body and just disregard all the rest, because it's one whole system. It's one whole system that works together. So it's kind of like when you even when you like look at a car, a lot of the times you can pinpoint something, but those times where it's like, well, we don't know what's going on. We got to look at it as a whole because this part is affecting the other part. So our body's like one big car. uh, okay, so I wanted to also read this bit here for you guys. Um, it also has to do with hormones in the body, but cortisol, and we all know cortisol is all about. Um, so it says the body perceives stress as a severe when it perceives stress as a severe threat or stress is prolonged, an excess level of cortisol becomes active in the brain, which can result in adverse effects such as damage to the hippocampus, which a lot of us don't know what that is, but that is what is an essential part of memory creation. So, high levels of stress, trauma, different environments you are in, and the stress that your body goes under when you're not consuming the right things affects this part of the body, and it affects memory. Because it says here, at its core, the brain is a dynamic symphony of electrical chemical reactions. Every memory we form, every emotion we feel, and every decision we make hinges on these intricate processes. Fueling these processes is the constant delivery of oxygen and nutrients via our cerebral circulation system. So this is a part that I really love, because we get people that come in here and they'll say, I'm working on memory, I'm working on, my brain health, whatever element of the brain they're trying to work on. And, we'll say, well, you also need to oxygenate. So we'll suggest herbs like the blood builder, our product called Blood Builder Plus, or we'll work with the liquid chlorophyll, and also herbs like capsicum and ginger, and cardio help, because as you're seeing here, oxygen is such a big part of what's helping the cells in the brain and just the overall um, processes, I should say, of the brain. So herbs and foods that are high in greens and oxygen content are so important. So, so important. I see there's another question here, but I just wanted to read this other part here, just about the oxygen and nutrient and circulation. So, our neurons, the primary cells responsible for transmitting information within the brain, have a relentless need for sustenance, making the continuous supply of oxygen and essential nutrients non-negotiable. So I love that. How they said it's non-negotiable. Like you have to have proper oxygen. And also too, to link back to stress, when we're stressed or in a high stress environment, it automatically affects our breathing. A lot of times it even affects our posture and that affects our breathing. So we already take shallow breaths just as a society. So when you are in those situations, that's creating less oxygen in the body, in the blood, therefore less in the brain. Um, so also the oxygen works with the circulation. So here it says, reduced or inconsistent blood flow can have immediate and long-term effects on our cognitive abilities. Brain blood flow or cerebral blood flow refers to the blood supply that reaches your brain during a given period of time. Your brain needs almost 20% of the blood supply provided by each heartbeat. A steady flow of blood brings oxygen, glucose, and nutrients to the brain and carries carbon dioxide, lactic acid, and other metabolic waste products away from the brain. So that blood flow is so vital because, like I said, it's even helping to get oh my gosh, can't talk, metabolic waste products away from the brain. So it's protecting the brain and it's increasing its function. So, okay, there's the exercise, um, the sugar just directly affects our brain. And it creates inflammation. Anything that's creating inflammation in the brain or in the body, I should say, creates it in the brain, creates it in the blood, and every organ is affected by that. Which is also a reason why, too, sometimes people that deal with diabetes or pancreas problems um, eventually have issues with vision. Sometimes they do, because that those things work together too, the brain and the pancreas. So we do have a product called Pancreas Reg. It's incredible. I mentioned it earlier for digestion, but it's great for helping with assisting with blood sugar as well. Um, yeah, because you just constantly want to be thinking about brain health because it really does help with the quality of your life in so many ways. So many ways. So, being active again doesn't mean you're going to the gym every single day and essentially sometimes hurting yourself because you feel like you have to go so hard with the exercise. It's just active, just motion. I like to say it's just motion. Activity, walking, a little brisk walk. Um, Even if you have a stationary bike at home, that's amazing. And getting outdoors, getting outside. I know it's hard for a lot of people to do deep breathing sometimes. I'm guilty of that. I have every intention of doing it, but I don't make the time in the day a lot of the time. But at least when you're outdoors, it kind of automatically makes you breathe in a little deeper and just helps to just revitalize the cells and feed the cells the energy of the sun, of the earth, grounding for some of you that don't know, it's putting your feet on the ground, your bare feet, preferably on grass or just dirt of some sort, not cement. And that really invigorates the whole body, and the nutrients that you get out of that is pretty mind-blowing. I won't go too deep into that right now, but look up grounding, or what they also call earthing. So that will even help with circulation as well. Okay, I know some people have questions here, so let me address them. It's too hot to deep breathe on the East Coast. That's the last thing said. I love that. I understand. I get it. I get it. That humidity is no joke out there. Okay, but it looks like somebody may had a question. So can brain health help with ringing in the ear since it is being said that the ringing is the brain transmitting waves? Brain health, yeah, definitely a big part of it because I've actually searched this up quite a bit because someone in my family deals with that, and it's it's life, it changes your life, you know, the ringing in the ears or just any kind of ear problems. So a big part of that is inflammation. Inflammation again, circling it back around to my father always say mucus. The level of mucus that we can have in our brain, it's very high. And it becomes plaque-like. It hardens on the brain. The way the mucus can harden in the gut and different parts of our body, even the way it layers in the lungs, it happens in the brain. You know, people that deal with a lot of sinus problems or um, sinus allergies, um, again, the memory and all those things. It really it comes a lot from the inflammation, which is the mucus in the brain, and the two effects also the nervous system. So the nervous system is hit hard, and most likely, more likely than not, there is a stress in the body. There's a big stress in the body in some way. So I know I mentioned just stressful situations, life being what it is, um, the food we're eating, the medication we're taking also can all create a toll on the nervous system. So, you know, you can work with herb like the Head Start. I mean, Head Start's just miraculous. The Head Start's great. The nerve control is very good because again, working on the nervous system. And another one that I would definitely suggest also is the astringent formula. I know the our astringent formula doesn't get a lot of as much attention as the Head Start does, but the reason why I say astringent because it works on inflamed tissues. It has herbs in there like aloe vera, lemon, red raspberry. All those things really help to bring that inflammation and to help pull inflammation out of the body as well. So the astringent formula is incredible, and of course, always number one, Superlax. Um, and I would also say any herbs that work with the blood. The liquid chlorophyll is incredible. Liquid chlorophyll is very good. The blood builder, of course, but anything like that that's going to help oxygenate. You know, we're talking about oxygenate the brain. Very important. Can you name the herbs needed again for the brain? Oh, I just mentioned that. Someone is asking, please speak on the herbs and vitamins that support the brain. So I think I covered that, but I mean, if you're also wanting to work with vitamins, minerals, the daily preventative is incredible. The daily preventative and maintenance is so, so good. And the liquid chlorophyll, blood builder, just because anytime you're working with astringent, anytime you're working with herbs that are deep green color, not even herbs, but the vegetables, um, very high mineral content. You know, things like spirulina, which is in the blood builder, the chlorophyll, chlorophin. I always say that word incorrectly. Chlorella as well, which we have, in our combination. I remember tomorrow said astringent formula helps lift the face and or the breast. I like that. Yeah, I mean the reason why he said that is because, especially because there's aloe vera. Aloe vera is such a powerful herb. I mean, when you look up the properties and the qualities of aloe vera, it's mind-boggling. Um, I put it on my face, the gel occasionally just to keep everything nice and firm um and for the future, of course, too. So it does. I mean, it's astringent and it has those properties where It's helping things to go into their place. And it's not just the aloe vera that's in there, the other herbs in it as well. Um, so internally it's doing that. Kind of naturally gravity pulls obviously downward. So the astringent's helping to lift things internally and externally. So, you know, it's great stuff. I take the astringent pretty regularly. Share these herbs. Should these herbs taking at any specific time of day or evening? The herbs that work with energy, or nourishing the blood, like super, the blood builder, the cardio, capsicum, ginger, even the maintenance for some people, um, can give you that little boost of energy. So I would just say like herbs of that sort, you probably don't want to take too late in the evening. But for me, I do morning, like right when you get up is one of the best because you're setting the tone for the rest of your day. You're setting that foundation. And then in the evening, I take my herbs as well. Sometimes I'll take a couple in the midday that are like helpful for energy or, female, whatever it may be. But then in the evening, I will avoid taking certain herbs, like what I mentioned, the maintenance for myself. But again, some people maintenance does not bother them at night. Um, Cardio, blood builder, liver builds, capsicum, things of that sort. I try to avoid taking too late. What is the best? Oh, these are coming in. Um, yes, liver build. Yeah, I mentioned that one's one that can give you energy. Um, what is the best? You know what? Let me just actually emphasize again on that question you have there in the chat, about specific time of day. You also don't want to usually take your herbs close to a big meal. If you have like fruit or you have something light, or even if it's a piece of toast or something of that sort, it's fine to take your herbs closer then. But it's just herbs are so nutrient dense that a lot of the times you'll start to actually feel full after you've taken them. So I would just, keep that in mind as well. What is the best to cleanse the blood? Is the same blood builder pot. Blood builder is incredible for cleansing the blood. Yes. The blood builder is very good. The liquid chlorophyll is amazing. Actually, liver build is very good also. Liver build is another great one, since it deals with process of blood and has herbs in there like dandelion, um, that are really known for great blood builder. And let's see here. I do believe you have a product called Head Start. Yep, Head Start. We've been talking about Head Start quite a bit tonight. I don't go a day without taking Head Start. I don't go a day. And it's kind of funny because sometimes with certain herbs, depending on your body, like some are more subtle than others. Um, but how you'll notice when you take a break from it, because at one point in my life I took a break from Head Start, not really intentionally. I just got busy and I started taking other herbs. I try to rotate taking different herbs. And I was like, well, maybe I'll take a little break from the Head Start. And I did, and then I was like, I can't. I cannot. Um, it really, for me, I just noticed like the recall, the memory, and just I didn't have like a thick brain fog, but it was a little fog. There was some fog there, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't good." So that Head Start is one of my best friends. Liver, okay. Do you have to take herbs with the meal, or can they be taken on an empty stomach? Yeah, I think I just kind of addressed that for you. We suggest like a half an hour before you eat or an hour or more after you've eaten to take them. But again, if you're eating something small with it, some fruit, some veg, um, some piece of toast, a banana, that's fine. You can take it close together. Just herbs are very nutrient dense, so you get a lot of nutrients. And also too, some people find that they need to eat a little something, especially when you first start taking herbs. Some people find that they do need to take a little something, um, because also keep in mind, herbs are different from vitamins. A vitamin isn't complete without food. An herb is a complete food. Um, But yeah, I was gonna say when people first start out, because there's so much toxicity in the body, in the gut, in the stomach, in the colon, um, it begins to move mucus, it begins to move waste, and it may not make you feel so great. So again, this isn't for everyone, but we'll say, yeah, you can have like, a little piece of toast, banana, something of that sort to just subside that feeling of movement going on, kind of a slight nausea feeling. Um, because again, you're starting to move waste. And you'll find that you won't have to keep doing that for sure. Because I know when I was younger, when I would take the maintenance, I would experience it because it was really trying to move some stuff. And so now at this point, that's gone. But yeah, when I was younger, that would happen. We'll have to try astringent. Yeah, astringent's great. Astringent, aside from what I'm saying astringent is good for, it's also really good for teeth and gums. Um, and it can help ease varicose veins. So, has a lot of really great benefits to it. I want to do breaks necessary from taking herbs on a daily basis. Like I said earlier, you can take like a day off if you like. You really have to read your body because, be in tune with your body, listen to your body. Your body's saying, oh, I kind of want a break today. That's okay. Sometimes we need a break because herbs, the herbs that we have, especially their pill form, so you're digesting. And sometimes your body just needs a break from digesting. That's why intermittent fasting is so incredible. And just fasting, period, is incredible because our digestive systems work so hard because of the food we eat that it needs time to regenerate, to just refresh, to get strength back to. So it's definitely okay to take a break. What about capsicum and ginger? Capsicum and ginger is incredible. I know I mentioned earlier about um I'm sorry if I have such a glare on my face. I'm in front of a window that the sun is changing. But the um the capsicum and ginger is great because it helps with digestive health, but how we're talking about the brain health, circulation, it just really promotes circulation throughout the entire system. That would be the one product that we definitely do say eat it after you've had a significant meal because it's very high potency, the pepper in there. Capsicum is powdered red pepper or cayenne, some people call it as well. Um, so the capsicum and ginger is incredible for overall circulation. Capsicum has a lot of vitamin C in it naturally, so it really helps boost the immune system, which was another part that I did want to mention. But you know what? I'm going to close this blind real quick because I feel like I look all slanty for you guys. Sorry, one second. Just a moment. I'm still here. That should help. Um, I don't remember the statistics or the percentage, I should say, but a huge part, oh, that didn't really help. A huge part of our immune system is in our digestive tract. So if you want to get your immune system real strong, work on your gut, cleaning your colon for your immune system. So the capsicum and ginger is also good because it has the ginger, which is incredible for digestion as well. So yeah, that product is powerful. That's a very powerful product. You'll notice in a lot of our combinations that capsicum is in a lot of them for a reason. My father put them in there because anytime you're promoting circulation in the body, you are in speeding up the healing process in your system. Um, it's kind of like when you have like a hand injury, a foot injury, all the blood rushes to there for a reason. It knows that it needs the blood to help begin to heal. So Yeah, anytime you're working with circulatory herbs, again, like the capsicum, really promotes healing throughout the entire body. Capsicum is just incredible. I can't talk enough about it. Do you know how much slippery elm bark? Not quite sure I know what you mean by that. Slippery elm is incredible. It's in our super lax combination, and I believe it's in our herbal lax, but no, it's not. It's just in our super lax. Um, I'm not quite sure how you mean about that question. Yes, so good, Danielle, about digestion and fasting. Yes, that's Miss Kate Wharton in the chat talking about fasting because she is the queen of fasting. We'll have to have her on again to do another one on the oh my goodness, I'm blanking. I need to take more Head Start today. It's been a long day. But no, we have to have her on to talk about fasting because she's incredible and she has incredible recipes. We had her on once, but we'll have to have her back for sure. Are there herbs that would help with peripheral neuropathy? There are. There are. I mean, the Head Start again, the nerve control. Um, I would say definitely chlorophyll. Superlax, always superlax. Because the herbs, put it this way, herbs don't know names of things. They just know this organ needs attention. And it's pretty incredible because the herbs literally they know where to go. Because one herb does 100 things, but it like your body ingests it and it just knows. And there's a study done on it, and I believe it has to do with like the energy of the herb, but it will go to that organ in that system because it just can see where the weakness is and it can see where the nutrients are needed. So that's why a lot of things will suggest, you know, a lot of the same herbs combinations because one herb does 100 or more things. So, someone's asking, are there any herbs for fibroids and that will help with prevention of blood clots? So, again, any herbs that work with the circulatory system, um, naturally know to help with clotting. Capsicum and ginger, our product called Cardio Help, um, and also even the chlorophyll in the blood builder, even the chlorophyll in the blood builder, um, fantastic herbs for that. Fibroids, so Superlax. I should have prefaced this at the beginning. I always do. We're not medical doctors here. We don't cure or treat anything because this is all about herbs. But just to tell you about, so for the fibroids, the Superlax, because again, for women, the vaginal tract is a channel of elimination. Our uterus can hold a lot of waste, especially when you're not pregnant. So there's that space. There's like the body can store a lot of mucus, a lot of toxins. So you got to work on number one, colon cleansing, because if other organs of the body start to hold on to too much waste, that's because you're not eliminating properly. So the Superlax, the PMS combination, the FF2, which is our second female formula, and the lymphatic health, because we have a lot of lymph nodes again in the female system. Those four would be the like the wellness plan that you would want to work on. I know that's not a marked wellness plan on our site, but that package together, those four together, incredible. I think that was all I saw here in the chat. What herbs will help with bladder incontinence? Superlax, and we also have the bladder support. Very good product. Very good product. My dad put that together because he knew that a lot of people dealt with problems with the bladder. So the bladder support has herbs that really work on strengthening the bladder and detoxing. You might find when you first start, you're like going a little bit more, but that's because it's going in and working on the bladder, but also the kidneys to help to detox because the kidneys are a channel of elimination. So you want to eliminate whatever does not need to be there. And then it really just helps to rebuild for sure. All right, so I know we're coming to an end here for our Q&A today, but I just had a couple more little things I wanted to go over with you guys. Okay, so here we go. Kind of strayed away from this a little bit, but let's see here. Apologies, I'm looking at my notes right here. Don't want to miss anything. No, just I'll just emphasize again, going back to diet, and things that people don't think about doing that are also very helpful. Things like colonics, things like enemas, um, some very novel things like drinking a lot of water. Water, 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 water. So, so important. But also eating your fruits that contain this water. So crucial. The water and fruits, you can't get that anywhere else. That level of purity and nutrients. And that's what hydrates our colon, because a lot of people don't realize how dehydrated our colon is, because we eat a lot of dry food, we eat a lot of dead food that has just no water content in it. So a lot of the times we're so impacted because of that fact. We're not ingesting enough hydration. And I'm sorry, tea and coffee. Some people think coffee can substitute for water. Energy drinks, even, I mean, coconut water is great. This is a really close second, but there's still something about water, pure water. Um, and then of course, green juices, fruit juices are so so good for colon health. So yeah, last but not least, I know I talked about the activated charcoal. Like I mentioned, it is on sale right now. It's buy one, get one free. Another great product for those of you that didn't hear at the beginning. It's great for nausea, for bloating, for it's even good for food poisoning. I've used it many times when I've had food poisoning. Some people actually use it as a great um assistant to if you've had a bad hangover, if you drink a little too much. We don't promote drinking alcohol, but if you're having fun and all that, then it's also good for absorbing it. You can take it before and after you drink. It's great for insect bites. I've used it on a black widow bite before for my mom. And I've never tried this, so I would, definitely research some for yourself, but I've heard it can even be helpful for a rattlesnake bite. I know it worked for my mom when she got that black widow bite, and it was pretty scary for a moment there. I just whipped up a concoction. I actually mixed the colloidal silver that we have, that liquid, with opened up the capsule of the activated charcoal, put it on there. She took some charcoal. She said literally, because her hand was starting to turn colors and it was starting to, swell. She said, she's like, I could literally feel like a pool. So activated charcoal is a great thing to have on hand for emergencies. Let me tell you, it's incredible. It does so many things. Like I said earlier, someone asked, it helps with absorbing heavy metals. It helps if you're exposed to an environment like that. I know some people work construction zones or where they're around metal or gasoline, exhaust, things of that sort. So it also helps absorb that because it really goes in and attaches to it's called adsorb. So we know absorb with the B, but this is adsorb with the D. It attaches to the toxin to help pull it out of the bloodstream and help to pull it out of the gut. So when you do take it, don't be surprised if your stool looks black, because that's the charcoal helping to pull, what's been in there. 4th of July just passed and we've all eaten things that we normally don't. So holidays like that, you can take it before you eat, take it after you eat. Do drink lots of water when you take charcoal, because it does expand. That's part of its property of why it works so well. So just drink lots of water. And yeah, if you're in a different country, I've done it where I'm not sure, what's how it's made or what it's made out of. And I just would take it beforehand. So it's a beautiful product to have at all times. And you don't have to take it every single day, but being especially for someone who lives in the city and we're exposed to a lot of toxins in the air, you could take it quite a few times during the week. So I hope that was helpful for all of you guys today. Hope that answered a lot of your questions. And we will be having another one of these. I believe our next scheduled one is for August. Let's see here. Give me a moment. I believe August 6th is going to be our next Q&A. So definitely be sure to keep an eye out for your email. And I know someone is asking about the recording. Will the recording be made available? It is. Let me put it in the chat one more time. And I meant to do that a second time. I apologize. This email that I'm putting in the chat right now, what we would like for you guys to do is to send your email in this chat, letting us know you would like a copy or access, I should say, to the recording, because it is private. It'll be on YouTube, but it's a private link. So we just send it to those who want it for themselves, or if they want to share it with a friend, you can totally do that too. That's no problem. So info@commonsenseherbs.com is where you want to send your email to, and we will be sure to send it to you. Give us up to 48 hours just to upload that for you guys and send it out. All right, everybody. Hope you all have a lovely night, evening, wherever you are in the country, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Apologize. I think that's 3 weeks. All right. Thank you so much. Have a good night.